I hate being shown off. I hate a lot of things, apparently, but especially this. It is so objectifying to be the centre of attention without anyone actually wanting to talk to you. And there are no excuses either. I have a perfectly interesting job and just as much, if not more, intelligence than the average man. The average man who ignores me for this very reason. I think of myself as rather talkative, approachable. But all anyone seems to want to talk about is what brand of lipstick I'm wearing or where I bought my dress. Bombarding me with trivial questions, gendered ones, the sorts that women can never evade. Well, there is one answer to all of those questions, but that would begin to challenge my approachable manner. If I were interested in any of that, then perhaps I would engage in the conversation, but I'm not. You see, when I first started my job, I caused quite a stir for my resistance to dress up. It is a resolution of mine to only make as much effort in my appearance as my co-workers, and as they're all men, it's difficult to tell the time this evening, but it's probably nearly 7 o'clock. At least that's what the Sun's placement is saying. The guests should start arriving by 7:30. Most will be late, closest will be early, so I should probably be ready quite soon. That is, if I had any intention of actually going. It's my birthday, and I'd much rather spend it in bed with a good book and a nice dinner. I find that once you've had one big birthday, you've had them all. I don't really understand why I have to go along with their plans in the first place. The party tonight is more about showing me off than anything else, which makes me wonder if they know me properly. I tried telling Emily all this, who's organised the old bloody thing, but she just got so upset, and she sort of whimpers when she cries, which I really do not want to be dealing with. So I apologised, and I said I didn't mean it, and yes, the dress looks lovely. Yes, I'll wear it this evening. Oh, she's lovely. I do really appreciate her hard work, but I'm not in the mood to celebrate. At least George will be with me. He bought this for me, you know. Sterling silver. And as he fastened the clasp around my neck, I knew in that moment I was never taking it off. What did he say? Oh God, he said something. What was it? Oh yes. As he gave it to me, he said, "Lucy, I love nothing in the world so well as you." He was really into Shakespeare at the time, and we always saw ourselves as a sort of Beatrice and Benedict, me being stubborn and him never knowing when he lost an argument. Oh, sterling silver, what a gift. He knows how much jewellery I already own but never wear. It's near selfishness that I hoard it away. I should really start redistributing soon. I know Emily has her eyes on some of my earrings. She calls them vintage, which is very sweet, but I'm afraid if she tried to sell them, she'd be quite disappointed. The emotional value is priceless, but the retail value is significantly less. Sometimes I feel like the subject of a horrible taxidermy experiment. Especially at work. You know, when I raise my hand and all these men look at me with shock. I freeze. They think I've forgotten my place. I apologise. Oh, it's easier than... And then we get back to work. No fuss. No disturbance. Nothing radical. The most conversation I'm allowed to engage in is small talk, which I often find so trivial, so often restricting. I mean, who cares who made my dress? I certainly don't. I bought it because I think it looks pretty. Or maybe George bought it for me. I can't remember. He has it so much easier than I have it. When he finishes school, he becomes a lawyer. and spends the rest of his days making good money, signing papers, and being content. Well, until he becomes sick and then... After I leave school and finish training, I spend the rest of my career being asked who's looking after the children. Even when Emily grows up and moves out, I'm still considered a bad mother for not being at home, for working full time. I mean, why? Sometimes I wonder if I'm the only woman in the world who wants to prioritise herself. Does that make me selfish? I don't know. Maybe. Have you seen my lipstick? No, the red one. Well, I think pink is a little bit too young for a milestone birthday, don't you? Well, no, I didn't expect you to know that, but I knew you were going to ask, so... Thank you for the card, by the way. Emily must have found it somewhere and wrapped it up as if it were brand new. It was quite a shock, seeing your handwriting again. No, I'm not ready yet, no! And anyway, it's just past 7, so the guests won't be around for another half an hour. 7:45? I thought it was... It wasn't meant to rain today, was it? March 8th, 1951. A beautifully sunny evening, yet we remain mainly indoors. What? Well, you can tell everyone to go home now. It's my party. I'll be ready on my terms. I'm not going. They can't let me go downstairs. I know what will happen if I go downstairs, and I don't want to relive it again. Jesus Christ. Okay. What are my options here? It's a birthday party. My birthday party. What is so stressful about putting on a smile and going downstairs and greeting my... Mark's going to be there. He just can't get over the fact that I'm going to be getting engaged any day now and that I'm happy about it. Sometimes I think he gets intimidated by my intellect. Like at work, I'm constantly correcting his analysis. It is my job. But maybe I mistake intimidated for... I don't know. He stares sometimes. Analyses me like the weather reports on the wall. He can't work me out. And it frustrates him. But that's not my problem. I don't know why I invited him. Or any of them, actually. Guess it's just polite. Oh, I could jump out the window. But that leads to the front porch, so it'll be quite conspicuous. I could feign a sudden illness. Bed rest only. Dehydration, that's it. I'm so sorry. I couldn't possibly come downstairs because I'm too weak, and the lack of hydration has made me go a little bit doolally. Sorry to disappoint everyone. You can all go home now. If I go downstairs, all my friends and family will be there to greet me, compliment me, that sort of thing. I'll have a drink. At least one. No more than 3. Relax. And then I'll go outside for some fresh air with my brother. Code word for cigarette. And yes, don't worry, I appreciate the irony there. And we'll be standing there smoking. And he'll leave the rest of the packet with me and go inside because he's too cold. And then Mark will come out and ask for one. And I'll say yes. And we'll be standing there, smoking, in silence. Occasional small talk, you know, awkward. And he'll finish his cigarette fast. But he won't leave. All right, weird. I'll allow it. And then he'll ask to kiss me. And I'll say no. But then he'll ask again. Only this time with a bit more intent. And I like looking through my old diaries and looking at my old photographs. Helps me to remember what happened, what is happening, what is to come. It's difficult to remain realistic when your sense of reality is warped, but you have to try. Otherwise you'll just drown. People assume there's some blessing to it, because there might be things in my past that are difficult to remember, but it's actually worse. I don't remember. I relive. I told George about Mark. He was very angry. He wanted to approach Mark, and I don't know what. His chivalry was attractive, but his aggression was unwarranted. Men do lots of things unwarranted, it seems. I love him. I do. And I miss him every day. And George, do you remember my 21st birthday? We danced to this, do you remember? And you gave me a little sterling silver necklace with a little L on it. And you called me... What did... Oh, you said something. You called me... Lucy. No, that's my name. You called me... You called me your Beatrice. And you told me that whenever I listen to this song, I should remember this moment, and I do, George, I do without fail. Come back to me properly. Come back to me properly, my darling. I want to see your face again. George is going to propose to me late this evening. I know he is. He thinks I don't know. He thinks it's going to be a surprise. What he doesn't know is that I've been waiting for him to propose to me since the moment I met him. I know, it sounds silly, but it's true. When he finally does ask me, I shall cry. I haven't told him about Mark yet. I'm still a bit shaken, weak. I remember it as if it were yesterday. Most of the guests had either left or gone to bed or gone home, and we were just sitting at the dining table. And we were sitting there, talking, tired, enjoying the simplicity of each other's company. And then he reached into his breast pocket and he pulled out this little ring and he held it out to me. And he said, well, he calls me is Beatrice, you see, and well, it was a long time ago now, but rest assured I said yes. We only had one child in the end. She's the one who's organised this whole bloody thing. I wish she were here. More to calm her down, more than anything else. You know what she's like. Overcompensating love to mask her anxieties. Takes after her mother, I reckon. God! I need a drink! I have a depressingly high tolerance for alcohol. According to my diaries, I used to be able to drink George under the table and his mates. I always used to rather impress George. I like reading my old diaries. George is always with me in them. I stopped writing after he's gone. I know it must sound a bit confusing to read about the past in order to stay in the present, but you have to maintain habit and order, because when I get worse, everything will get worse. You know, we're not rich. We don't belong to some old boys club, so any care offered me will be the minimum. Soon I'll be talked about as if I was already dead, grieved over, as if my fleeting memory represents my entire being. But fuck! Let's celebrate another anniversary of her birth to mask the anger we all secretly feel but are too selfless to talk about. 1 year closer to my inevitable, fatal decline. But let's have some fun with her while we still can. Now people struggle to make eye contact with me. Their respect has been replaced with pity, and honestly, there is nothing worse. I heard you. I heard everything you said. And I do remember. I know everything that's going on, Emily. And I know I won't soon. But I'm currently very present. Throwing me a fucking birthday party as a final goodbye before I leave home forever. Well, let me tell you something, young lady. Your house will never be my home. Some bloody halfway house will never be my home. Honestly. I haven't felt at home since he left me.
Hey now, you gentle creature, come and love me. Oh, breaks forget the future, come and teach me, 'cause I'm leaving more than eager to be touched. From then I'm always broken. Let me lead me to your love. Hold tight, it's all igniting. Open fire. Hold me down in clouds of angels. I'm inspired.